I just wanted to check in today and talk a little bit about, because I get this question a lot, my transition from the salon to set production. I am for those that don't know me, I am Deandra Metzger, affectionately known as Dee Dee, and I am a full-time hairstylist in the TV and film production industry here in Atlanta, Georgia. And I often get the question, how did I transition? Well, let's talk about that a little bit today. I'm a hairstylist of 30 years, and I've worked in every capacity of that business. But I knew that I wanted to transition into working full-time on set. Why? Because I thought that it was something that was interesting. I did it a few times with a friend of mine. I worked under her leadership and her mentorship, and I enjoyed doing hair in any shape, form, or fashion. So I became interested in it. I started working, I started out doing music artists in the industry. I did a few videos here and there. I did not like the atmosphere video shoots, so that didn't really work for me. I did do a couple of gospel artists, and those video shoots weren't as bad, but I wasn't getting the calls like I was getting for rap videos, and that just really wasn't my thing. I started working with Fantasia. I had gotten a referral from a client of mine. She was working at that time as her personal assistant, so that's how I was referred to her. And I did enjoy it, but at that time, I had a young daughter, and I didn't want to be as absent as it required me to be. So I just knew that that was just something that I was going to do part-time, and it wasn't going to be full-time. I had the opportunity to work with Monica, and I worked with her for a short period of time. I worked in her cousin's salon, so I knew her when she first got started in the business. So we were very familiar with each other. We knew each other's families and that kind of thing growing up. She's, of course, much younger than me, but we kind of crossed paths in that way. I would definitely tell her that I wasn't able to travel as much as I would have liked to. So I kind of dibbed and dabbed with 1 foot in, 1 foot out thing. But however, when I started working in film and television, it was something about creating those characters that I enjoyed. Now, it was a learning process, a learning curve, because as a hairstylist from the salon, our job is to make everybody look pretty. It was definitely a challenge for me in the industry, having had that experience behind the chair and bringing that skill set with me as a hairstylist to set, but not using those same techniques. Because I'll give you an example. If you're on set and there is a scene where they are in the jungle running, of course their hair is not supposed to look pretty. It's just not realistic. We've all watched those movies or film, and we'll say, why is her hair so pretty and she's out here and she's supposed to be fixing a car? Or why is her curl so pretty and she's supposed to be running in a field? We've all had that experience when we watched a show and said, why do they look? But I have definitely been there where I had to unlearn some of the habits that I had, where you have to move fast and you have to think quickly on your feet to come up with hairstyles, knowing what they're going to do in the scene. I had to unlearn some things. It wasn't as easy a transition for me, but after working so many years in the business, I got used to it. I've had to make adjustments, and I still make adjustments, still have to learn, and you still have to study, and you still have to get to know the character and understand the reasons why they made certain decisions involving hair when it comes to a different period. So again, it wasn't as easy for me, but it was a challenge, and I enjoyed it. I was drawn to that challenge because I was constantly having to learn something new. Well, I made the decision, like I said, that I was not going to do it full time, but I would just do it part time, and I would get to know people And not to say that that will be someone else's journey, because there may be someone getting in business and they could dive completely in. And sometimes being a parent in the business, the hours are long. If you have a family, it's kind of hard to, if you have a young kid and you want to attend their games on Friday nights, it's kind of hard to be in that business and work full time. I made a decision to work part time. And when I made that decision, I didn't realize, because there were people in the industry that said, oh, you're not going to be able to juggle both. I just had to figure out what I could do to make it work for me. And so what I would do is that on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays, I would leave my schedule free in the salon, and I was only available on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Someone would call me and say that I needed to get a sew-in on a Tuesday, or was I available Tuesday? If I wasn't working on set, of course I would do that. So I just kind of juggled between the two. But I made a commitment, unless it was the summertime. Now in the summers, my daughter always traveled with her grandfather to Florida, or she went and stayed with my cousin or traveled with my cousin. So I would only do full-time jobs in the summer for 8 years of my 13-year film career. For 8 years, I juggled the salon and TV and film, doing both. And I would set aside Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for film work only, or freelance work. And on Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays, it would be completely dedicated to the salon. My clients were well aware of that. I think early on when I first did it, maybe for about the first 4 years, I don't think I told them. I didn't. I didn't tell my clients that I was working on set. I just knew that I had to reschedule a lot and I need to move them around. I just didn't have it as adjusted or as structured as I would like. But I will give you this advice. Set aside those days that work best for you, and do not veer from your plan. You can't just use clients and use them at your disposal. It's almost like you have to, and that was for lack of a better phrase. I don't even know how to phrase it, but you can't just pick clients up and put them down. They feel that energy, and I think as a result of that, they won't be as faithful to you. Now, I do know the theory that your clients are only faithful to you as long as they're sitting in your chair, and your client is not your client when they get up. So I get all of those theories, but you're talking about a clientele where I had done people for over 20 something years. So there was a connection that we had. Some of them, they looked at me like I was family, and vice versa. They were very, much more understanding than I thought they would be. When I did finally tell them that I was doing work on set, or I was working for the team, they were rooting for me. Of course, as long as it didn't interfere with their appointment on Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. But anyway, so I juggled both, and I kept both separate. And there were times where I missed out on opportunities. There were projects that I could have done, and they wanted me to work 5 days, and I just couldn't do it because I had already set this standard of how I was going to operate. Now, I didn't tell people I'm not available Thursday, Friday, and Saturday because those days are for the salon clients. No, when someone called and they say, are you available on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of this week? I would say, I am definitely available on Tuesday and Wednesday, but Thursday I'm already booked. Now, they didn't have to know what I was booked on. I was actually booked in the salon, but they didn't have to know that. Now, it's important that if you are trying to transition from the salon to set and TV film production, I think it's important that you definitely, when you are a department head, when I'm in a position and I'm hiring people when I'm on set, I don't want to hear all of the nuances. I don't have time because I'm moving fast. You got to call somebody. Are you available? And all you need to know is what days they're available. It is, as much as I should be patient with it, I get even impatient when I'm talking to somebody and I say, are you available? And they say, well, no, I'm not available on Tuesday because my son has a doctor's appointment, but on Wednesday I can work. And then on Thursday, I can't work, but then on Friday I can work. I don't need to hear all of that. All I would like to know is what days are you available. When you're talking to people, when you're working on set and you're juggling the two, just let them know what days you're available. You don't have to discuss what you're doing. Sometimes there are some department heads that are patient with it, and there are some department heads, they want you available when they want you available. But remember, and it's human nature, people want what they can't have. So don't share the details so quickly as to why you are not available. Just say, I'm not available. And it's almost like they want you even more. They like it. They like the chase. And it may be subconscious, it may be conscious, but they like the people that are desperate and calling them saying, do you have days? Do you have days? Not to say you can't do that. You're supposed to do that. But the people that they've called and they politely and professionally say, I'm not available on this day, I am available on this day. And when they come to work and they do their job and they stay out of people's business and they're not trying to play big because they have something else, department heads or people in charge are drawn to that. There was never a time that I wasn't busy. And all I'm saying is, I'm gonna repeat that. If someone calls you and they ask you, are you available on a particular day? You just tell them which days you are available. If someone calls you and they ask you, are you available on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday morning, or Saturday night, or Friday night, and work through Saturday? Your response would be, I'm available on Tuesday and Wednesday, and I apologize, I'm already booked on Friday. Please keep me in mind in the future, or I will be available next week starting Monday, blah, 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 blah. And you just do it that way. Don't give too many details, and you can juggle both. And then when you're in Salon, I did try to juggle, I'll work on Thursday and I'm off on Wednesday, and then I have to move all of my clients over to Wednesday, all the clients from Thursday to Wednesday, and you're on set, you're not focused because you're on the phone all day trying to text and contact clients, because I'm texting people all day long getting responses, because I might have texted someone at 10 o'clock in the morning when I had some free time, but they're not responding now until their lunch hour, or they're not responding until the evening time, or you didn't get someone, they missed the message. It was very stressful trying to flip-flop and switch them up, and sometimes it wasn't even worth it. There are times where you can change your entire schedule and move all of your Thursday clients over to Wednesday, and then production, the schedule changes on production. And then now you got to move all of those people back. All the people that you had on Thursday, you move them to Wednesday. And then you come in, now you move 20 clients. Let's say you move all of those people over to Wednesday, and then they call you after you move all those people and say, oh, the schedule changed. We actually need you for Wednesday as opposed to Thursday. And then you go Wednesday and work, and guess what happens? They wrap you at 8 hours. So you moved all of that money on Thursday and rescheduled all of those people, bouncing them back and forth, and then what we call in the business 8 and skate. They gave you an 8 and skate, so you left at 8 hours, so you didn't get any overtime. That's a hard thing to juggle, and unless you've been in that experience, you wouldn't know. But I promise you, if you work in TV and film production, it definitely will happen. Just be conscious of, just don't jump so quick. And I know you're excited to get the phone call. It's important that you get the work. You really want to work on set. You really want this opportunity, and you're afraid that you're going to miss the opportunity. Don't worry about it. You have to be faithful that whatever is for you is going to be for you. But just keep that in mind when juggling those clients. Another thing I want for you to keep in mind, the impression that you're giving to other people. If you get on set and you're not focused And it's been times when I wasn't, because again, I was juggling, trying to move clients around. It just started working better for me to just be focused at work, keep those days consistent. They already knew my schedule, and just work like that. I found that I was more successful. I found that more people wanted to work with me. They consistently knew. Now, there were some people that were totally annoyed, because after so many years, it started getting around. They may say, oh, Dee Dee's not available on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. She's in that salon. But I had a good core group of people that I worked with and I built relationships with, and they knew when I came to work, I was at work and I worked hard and I did my job. Those people continued to call me. But there are some people that just did not want to deal with that or deal with my schedule. And so they just couldn't, that was too much for them. And that was frustrating for them that I wasn't available all the time and they needed somebody. So it was oftentimes that I got looked over for something because I couldn't be there full time, whereas someone else could. That job was not for me. Fast forward, now I am full time in the industry. And I definitely am more understanding if I have someone that's working on a Friday night and it's late and I know they have to get in the salon on Saturday. I'm more conscious of it. I do my best to help. I let them know, hey, this Friday is not a good Friday for you to leave early. The conversation with them, you can definitely leave early. I know you have to get in the salon early in the morning. Just be strategic with your planning. And that was definitely a way that I juggled both. Now, stay tuned for the next video, because I'll share with you some of the tips that I learned in juggling both the salon and set work, and some ways that will help you transition when it comes to doing work on set full-time or part-time. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button if you did. Make sure you turn on your notifications and stay tuned for the next video where I share my journey from the salon to set work, or my journey from the salon to freelance work.